Caution from heaven. Archangel Michael says something serious is stepping into your existence proper now. Jesus is commanding you to open this before the following 15 minutes are long past. My baby, my cherished. Earlier than you're taking every other breath, I need you to remember the fact that this message has been stopped from reaching you extra than as soon as. But heaven overruled. And now, sooner or later, it has discovered its manner to you. You did not come across this. It became orchestrated. Because something severe is already stepping into your life, and you cannot see it yet. However, we are able to. I, Michael, the Archangel of Protection, have been standing shield over your route. I've been intercepting the darkness seeking to attain you. However, today, what is coming is specific. It is now not just a shadow. It is a consequence of selections others are making in the back of your back. That is why Jesus himself is commanding this message to be opened earlier than the following 15 minutes are long past. Because what unfolds after so one can either bless you beyond what your soul can consider, or bruise you in ways you're no longer geared up for. You ought to now not ignore this. My infant, my liked. There are two human beings worried in what is set to unfold. Considered one of them is aware of you deeply. The opposite envies you in silence. However, both of them are linked for your life in a manner that lets in them get right of entry to what they ought to by no means have touched. And I'm not speaking in riddles. I am speaking it seems that now, due to the fact heaven has waited long sufficient. The reason your cash feels blocked, the reason your joy feels delayed, the cause your sleep feels disturbed, is because of something hidden, something silent. Something that wears a acquainted face but includes a deceiving goal. And I used to be no longer allowed to speak this before. However now, by using divine order, I have to monitor what has been seen in heaven's facts. My baby, my cherished. Earlier than I go in addition, I ask you to prevent and pay attention to the whisper on your spirit. You sense it, do not you? That extraordinary feel of urgency. That feeling that you're being pulled closer to something vital, however you do not know what. It really is not anxiety. It is heaven seeking to shake you unsleeping. It is the voice of God brushing in opposition to your coronary heart, pronouncing, don't stroll far from this once more. You have got skipped messages earlier than and thought, maybe later. But this one is different. This is not pretty much concept. This is approximately intervention. That is a divine interception designed to prevent a tragedy you may not recover from without problems. My toddler, my cherished. Speech balloon, in case your soul knows this is for you. In case your spirit is stirring proper now, then join this voice of heaven immediately. No longer just to listen extra messages, however, so heaven knows that why. You're listening. Due to the fact what comes next is the part they attempted to stop. However, God says, release it. My toddler, my beloved. There may be a hidden region wherein your call has been spoken. Now not in prayer, but in approach. And that's what changes the whole lot. You notice, whilst a person speaks your name in love, it brings choose. However, when someone speaks your name in selfishness, it creates a ripple of resistance. And humans, linked through blood or bonded with the aid of time, have made alternatives that have been in no way theirs to make approximately what belongs to you. I don't want to frighten you. I want to put together you. Due to the fact I've seen what's coming if this continues unchecked. One in every of them is draining your favor spiritually, through silent jealousy. Through bitter agreement with voices that want to limit you. And the opposite has already taken something that had your call on it. A blessing. A portion. An opportunity. You have been supposed to acquire it. They intercepted it. However, heaven is ready to opposite it all, if you follow this subsequent element intently. My child, my liked. There may be a purpose you experience like your benefits are constantly near. But never pretty for your palms. There's a reason it seems like you're fighting something invisible. And now I am exposing it. Your existence is below surveillance. Now not through the government, but by spiritual forces who need to postpone your inheritance. Due to the fact they recognize when you contact what God has written in your call. You might not be managed anymore. After you rise, you'll set others loose. It really is why they need to hold you suffering. However, that ends this night. Now not by means of coincidence, but by awakening. Via obedience. By means of moving into divine education and now not second-guessing right now. Heaven is preparing a reversal. But your settlement is the key that unlocks it. My baby, my cherished. The motive this message is urgent isn't just due to what's taking place around you, but because of what is taking place within you. Your spirit has been beneath stress recently. Unexplainable weight. Atypical thoughts. Unpredictable emotions. Sudden fears you cannot trace. And now you understand why. Something has been circling your existence for weeks. It wasn't allowed to touch you till nowadays. And that is why this message could not wait. Due to the fact the moment this religious threshold is crossed, what was hidden will become seen. In case you do not act earlier than that second, you may lose your chance to defend what's rightfully yours. I say this now not as a warning to scare you, but as a divine assertion from heaven's throne. Jesus himself is watching what you'll do within the next few minutes. This is how serious this is. Heaven does not send a message like this unless the soul it is supposed for is on foot dangerously near something that should be stopped. And right now, cherished, that Jesus himself is watching what you'll do within the next few minutes. This is how serious this is. Heaven does not send a message like this unless the soul it is supposed for is on foot dangerously near something that should be stopped. And right now, cherished, that soul is you. My toddler, my cherished. Let me screen the element no person wants to admit. Now and again the innermost betrayal would not come from enemies. It comes from the ones who realize your smooth spots. It comes from the ones you grew up trusting. The ones who pretend to support you however secretly sabotage your peace. One of them is set to be found out to you, not via drama, but through religious readability. This man or woman has been retaining your call in their mouth while smiling on your face. They have been asking questions about your destiny that they've no proper to invite. They have been talking to someone else approximately your cash, your lifestyles, your goals. And they've painted an image that puts them on your seat. That is what heaven confirmed me. They don't need you to prevail. They want to control wherein your blessing goes. And that they've started making decisions in your behalf. Without your permission. However, I've come to take it lower back. No longer with revenge. With revelation. Due to the fact God does not reveal to embarrass. He exposes to defend. My toddler, my liked. My infant, my loved. You've been feeling like something is about to show up, and you're right. But what you didn't know is that two versions of your future are now being weighed inside the spirit realm. One version consists of step forward, want, joy, peace, and a reversal of every trouble you have faced. The other version includes more put off, extra confusion, and an open door for folks who desire to take what changed into in no way theirs. What determines which model unfolds is your choice on this exact second. Your focus. Your religious yes. This message isn't always a warning to panic. It's a divine desire. And heaven is looking to peer what you will do. My baby, my beloved. Your name has electricity. Not just on the earth, however in heaven. And even in hell, they tremble while your call is spoken with authority. However, these days, your call has been spoken with envy, with criticism, with hidden plans connected to it. A person near you has used your call not in prayer, however in control. They've tried to govern how others see you. And worse, they have manipulated how you see yourself. However, that forestalls nowadays. Because I'm ripping the masks off their intentions. I'm exposing what changed into stated in mystery. Now, not to disgrace, however to shield. Not to reason conflict, however to offer you freedom. The fact is being launched so you may be launched. My child, my loved. There's a purpose why you've been stuck in cycles. Why the identical conflict keeps repeating. Why advantages seem to come back so near, best to vanish. It is because you've been so